We are here to have an introduction for to Rancher application. So basically, Rancher was originally built to work with multiple orchestrators, and it included its own orchestrator called Cattle, which is a old orchestrator. Rancher can provision Kubernetes from a hosted provider, provision compute nodes, and then install Kubernetes onto them, or import existing Kubernetes cluster running anywhere. One Rancher server installation can manage thousands of Kubernetes clusters or thousands of nodes from the same user interface. Rancher centralizes authentication and role-based access control, which is RBAC, for all of the clusters, giving global admins the ability to control cluster access from one location. It then enables detailed monitoring and alerting for clusters and their resources, ships logs to external providers, and integrates directly with Helm, which is connected via application catalog. If you have an external CI/CD system, you can plug it into Rancher. But if you don't, then Rancher includes a pipeline engine, which is helping you to automatically deploy and upgrade workloads.
Yogita, let's take a pause. So,
Yes.
what is the overall purpose? Why do we have this? Is it a
Uh, uh,
consolidated? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Overall purpose, I'm just coming to that.
Okay.
It means basically when we have to run some platform, when we need some platform as Kubernetes, and there's Rancher which has come up with this Kubernetes platform, which actually handles everything, and the environment totally is completely provided by the Rancher application. So if we need Kubernetes anywhere to run Kubernetes anywhere on any system, then we have some kind of drawbacks in some systems or versions, and because of Rancher, all these drawbacks have been nullified. So this is the main purpose of them. So we'll see some benefits as well for these Rancher application.
Okay.
Yeah. So as businesses migrate their infrastructure and architecture to reflect a cloud-native, data-driven era, we have seen a rise in the topics of cloud computing, containerization, and container orchestration. When bringing up these trends, it's hard to ignore some of the big names, which is Kubernetes. One of them is Kubernetes, and one of them is Docker. So Docker is basically a containerization platform, and we'll see like Docker makes it easy and simple for different people working when we are working on a same project, and they run the application in the same environment without any dependencies or OS issues involved. So if we consider this scenario where before Docker a developer sends a code to a tester, but it doesn't run on the tester system due to various dependency issues. However, it works fine on the developer's end, and after Docker, as a tester and developer now have the same system running on Docker container, they both are able to run the application in Docker environment. And they don't have to face the difference in dependency issues. Then Docker, if you see that it is a containerization platform which packages your application. So it is basically, it packages all your application and dependencies in one container, and it makes it easier. Like we can create and deploy the application, and it is done only with the use of containers. Then we have Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a powerful container management tool that automates the deployment and management of containers. Kubernetes offers things like auto scaling, health checks, and load balancing, which are crucial to managing the container lifecycle. We have like it's called a pod, which is the lowest unit of application in Kubernetes, which is made up of multiple containers. Now, a pod is not to be supposed as a container because a pod can consisting of many containers within a single pod. The container in a pod can talk to each other, and they are doing this communication via local host, whereas the pod to pod communication is done via services. And if we need connectivity to our pods, we will need a function called service. So basically, Docker is used to pack and ship your application, and Kubernetes, on the other hand, is a container scheduler. So it is used to deploy and scale your application. Then we start with our Kubernetes journey. Then we need to basically take a basic easy step, which is installing Rancher on a system. Then we will see some benefits of using Rancher. So first of them is free range solution. There are actually many benefits which we can come up with, and one of them is free range solution without lock-in. So it means basically if you decide that Rancher isn't the best fit for you, you can just uninstall it and your existing Kubernetes cluster will continue to operate. So you don't need to worry about while using Rancher. Second thing is commitment free open source. So Rancher does not subscribe to a freemium model. It means that it is the same version of Rancher, whether you're a paying customer or you're not paying. So it doesn't provide you different versions, and it is the same altogether. So even if you're using a solution that delivers a pre-built Kubernetes cluster, there are significant benefits to using Rancher as well. It integrates seamlessly into the management infrastructure of GKE, EKS, and AKS, and gives you full control of cloud resources. So basically, these are the names for different clouds you can see on the screen. Instead of having to learn 3 different interfaces, Rancher provides a common and consistent view of each of these hosted services with a single pane of glass for accessing, interacting with them. So basically, we don't have to learn 3 different languages, and we can just have a single interface where we can manage everything. Teams can easily deploy and manage workloads, define secret, manage private registries, configure persistent volume claims, configure load balancing, and service discovery, and manage CI pipelines. Rancher's app catalog, which we mentioned earlier, which is based on Helm, makes it easy to create shared or private catalogs and gives user the ability to configure, deploy, and manage the life cycle of applications. So we have Rancher 2.0. You can use this and accelerate the adoption of containers and Kubernetes in your organization, which helps the users to build applications faster. This is a dashboard you can see. It is basically showing the health check of a particular cluster, and it is being monitored. This is how we can just showcase how Rancher helps and tries to help out in any situation. So one of them is deploying the same application across different public clouds. Rancher can be used to spin up Kubernetes clusters across different availability zones. So it is on a single provider. So we can have AWS with different clouds such as AWS and Azure together. In the screen also you can see this is the same application which is running on both the clouds. When using Rancher, the same application can be deployed in different regions like EU and US, and using the same policies, identity, and access roles, ensuring consistency across all instantiations. When application is updated, Rancher can just easily push new versions across all regions, and the same capability is useful for disaster recovery as well. Then we have deploying different portions of applications on different clouds. So when application developers might find themselves dependent on certain services that a public cloud provides, such as AWS relational database services, or Azure has Azure cognitive services for AI. Then in this situation, Rancher can just come into picture and easily run a portion of application for AWS EC2, and that is called EKS, and running other portion interacting with AI, that is on Azure's AKS. So that's where we come to conclusion, which is why Rancher should be used, which is a complete software stack for teams adopting containers. It addresses the operational and security challenges of managing multiple Kubernetes clusters across across any infrastructure, while providing DevOps teams with integrated tools for running containerized workloads. This is a basic website screenshot which I've taken for showing who uses Rancher. And these are the screens which I've taken from the same website, which shows IT operations, which can create, manage, and support multiple enterprise-grade clusters from a single pane of glass UI. For security as well, it enables multi-layer security for your Kubernetes cluster through centralized security policies and built-in authentication with LDAP, Active Directory, and more. For DevOps, prevent outages with inbuilt monitoring, logging, and auditing capabilities. Deploy copies of the same application of all clusters with multi-cluster applications. So that's it for today, sir.